Hey everyone, Penny and Guy from Midwinter Minis here, back for another episode of our speed painting Blackstone Fortress series. In this video, we'll be painting the Servitor X-101 from the Escalation expansion set, but you can also find this model in the Combat Arena board game too.
Now, Penny's too young to appreciate this, but I'm getting some serious Quake 2 Strogg vibes from this guy. He's like the perfect mix between the gladiators and tanks and gunners. Man, I love that game so much.
Wow, I really like being spoken about like a child. You're much too young, you wouldn't understand.
It came out when you were 2.
Oh god.
Anyway, after adding a few little rocky elements with superglue on the base, I primed X-101 with grey primer. The first thing I did was mix our khaki tan colour with grey to make a base colour for that weird dead skin. There's just one arm and half a face to worry about, so don't mix too much of the paint.
Next, Guy painted the armour plates on the torso and big fisty arm with Zandri dust. This will make a nice base colour to build up yellow on later. Once that's taken care of, mix black and silver paint in a 1:1 ratio, thin it with a little water so it flows really nicely, and start blocking in all of the mechanical metal parts of the model, so his claws, cables, feet, the backpack thing, and all the trinkets and bits and bobs. Don't worry too much if you get this colour on the grey, as we can touch up the grey later on. Just get a good momentum going and don't think about it too much.
Next, I'm going to start building up the yellow armour panels. With thinned yellow paint, cover all the areas you base coated with khaki. As you can see, doing this first lets the yellow be a bit more vibrant and makes it easier to build up. Depending on how thin your yellow was and how transparent it is, you might want to apply 2 thin coats.
Not now, Duncan. We'll add some really quick cheaty highlights in a moment, but before that use your black paint, thinned so it flows well, and paint the rims, base surface and any rocky elements you added. Give that a minute to dry and then pull out your white paint. We'll do a very quick but subtle dry brush all over the model to pick out edges and easily highlight it. Make sure you've got almost no paint on your brush before you touch the model, otherwise you might have to go back to the base coat stage again.
So 23 minutes in, and this is what we're looking at. Doing a white dry brush makes any model look really dusty, but now we're going to add some washes to tone things down and create some easy shadows. First, we'll use a brown wash on all of the yellow armour plates. Using it on the skin will warm up a little in the recesses, which will help define the muscle structure too. Give that wash a few minutes to dry so the next step doesn't bleed into it, and then crack out your black wash and shade all the metal and grey areas, as well as the rocky bits on the base.
That white dry brush we did earlier will have made the surface of the base a bit messy, so give it a tidy up with some black paint now. And with that step taken care of, the speed paint for X-101 is done in just over half an hour. This is a great way to get this model onto the tabletop with really easy, fast techniques that realistically anyone can do.
If you feel like you're ready to grab your detail brush and get a bit adventurous, there are a couple of steps we can take to make it look a lot more vibrant and interesting. If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel, you might not know that we've made tutorials for every single model of the Blackstone Fortress game, as well as the dreaded Amble and Traitor Command expansions too.
Well, apart from those little gribblies.
Yeah, we'll get to them. Anyway, check out the playlist that just popped up.
Back to the painting. First off, let's add a tiny touch of white to your grey paint and start picking out some of the most prominent folds on the fatigues. Stay well away from the recesses and just catch the sharpest folds. Add a little khaki paint into that light grey you just made and use this deathly skin tone to highlight the muscles on the arm and prominent areas of the face. Again, stay away from the recesses and try to leave a bit of that washed skin tone showing through too, so you get lots of variation.
Once you're happy with the skin, wash out your brush and grab your yellow paint again. Thin it nicely and just very gently dot and dash big open areas of the armour plates, keeping away from the darker recessed parts. This will make the yellow more vibrant again after we washed it down and dry brushed it. Now, if you feel like doing some serious damage to your mental health, we can use our detail brush and black paint to freehand the danger chevrons on the claw armour panel. Keep it slow and simple, start with one line at first, keeping it thinner than the final result will be. You're trying to get the spacing and the angles right first. Another line, and then another. And when you're happy with the direction and space between them, slowly start to thicken them up until the yellow and black stripes are about the same size. If you go over too much of the yellow, use your car key to block out the black, and then re-highlight with yellow if it looks too drab.
That actually sounds quite hard.
It is hard.
Why are you putting it in your anyone can do it video?
No, this is slightly more advanced bits.
Okay,
Yeah,
alright.
I know. So to tart up the black so it's not too flat, mix in a tiny bit of white to create a very dark grey, and paint that onto the black stripes near where the yellow is the most vibrant to match the highlights.
Next, grab your silver paint, wipe most of the paint off your detail brush, and then stipple and drag your brush across the metal areas, imagining where things might have brushed against it and scraped the metal or rubbed from regular use. Almost done. If you want to make the panel lines of the armour plates a bit more obvious, you can use your detail brush and brown wash to do a recessed shade. This will add a bit of contrast to the panels.
I thought the little Mechanicum symbol on the shoulder pad was a bit too meh, so I gave it a quick highlight with thinned white, and then another quick highlight, but even more sparingly when it was dry. Now, I haven't forgotten about the lights on the backpack, so let's take care of them now. I want to create a very dull blue light, so to begin with I used our basic blue paint, thinned it with a little water, and filled in the gaps on the grille. Now don't worry if the paint goes on the grille area or the area around the light itself, as that will hint at the glowing effect. Add a little bit of white to your blue on the palette, and paint this more towards the centre of the light sources. Don't let your original blue dry out before you do this, try to keep things a bit wet so the blend will be a bit smoother. More white and focus on the centre again. Finally, with almost pure white, add a little dot here and there. And I think we're done.
Hold on, one last thing. Hit his big on-off buttons with some red. Perfect. And there we go. In just 54 minutes, X-101 is good to go and ready to take on the hostiles, and possibly also the explorers in the Blackstone fortress.
Well, thanks so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this video. In case you didn't know, we have a Patreon just in case you wanted to help Midwinter Minis keep stocked up on paints and models and treats for the dog. And that's it for this tutorial. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye!